Welcome back, man. Welcome back. I am loving the petty right now of certain players to their organizations. Giants never wanted to pay Saquon, so what does Saquon do? Go ahead and go to the Philadelphia Eagles, right? The running back market has been very, very, very intriguing to watch so far. You got Tony Pollard to the Titans, right? You got Josh Jacobs to the to the Packers. And the Packers released Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, breaking news, just got released 4 minutes ago, is signing a 7 year deal. Sorry, a 1 year, $7 million deal with the who? Minnesota Vikings. So now they get their running back, right? Joe Mixon just recently got released as well, as Zach Moss is now the running back for the Bengals, right? There's a lot of moves that have been made. A lot of moves that have been made. I want to just make sure I get all the other running back moves that were made. Just want to make sure I get the last one. Austin Eckler to the Washington Commanders, which I'm going to make a whole video later why I'm huge on Washington Commanders. I want to continue to see what they've been doing this offseason. But there have been a lot of moves that have been made, man. And some of the impactful ones I do want to touch upon. Obviously, Kayvon Thibodeau. No, sorry. Brian Burns, who was recently franchise tagged, has now been traded for a second and fifth round pick and also got a huge deal. Huge deal from the New York Giants, right? That's a big move. Obviously, the Vikings are re-signing their offensive tackle. Um, Another huge move that I do want to discuss. Obviously, Michael Pittman recently got paid. There's a lot of interest going on between the Derrick Henry and the Ravens, which I also don't think is a super great move. But hey, that is what's happening. Um, Another thing, obviously, Chris Jones got paid recently. Chris Jones recently got paid, so that's a huge move as well. Noah Brown is resigning. Obviously, can I get, man, Christian Wilkins times Mason Crosby. Max Crosby. I said Mason. I always get them wrong. Max Crosby is going to be huge. Yeah. I'm a former defensive lineman, right? So that's going to be huge because Max Crosby was one of the most double teamed linemen last year, and he still had a very good season. And more importantly, he was great in the run and pass, which a lot of the edge rushers nowadays they can falter in between both, but he's good and he's great in both, right? And now with Christian Wilkins, that provides a whole new narrative, a whole new situation, a whole new nightmare for defensive coordinators because now you have somebody in the middle. And to me, and I always say this, I would rather take a amazing interior defensive lineman over an amazing edge rusher. An elite interior defensive lineman does way more damage than an elite edge rusher. And the simple fact is, quarterbacks cannot step up in the pocket, and some of the biggest throws that happen is when a quarterback steps up in the pocket. More importantly, their impact on the run game. Because as a DN, you can be bad in the run game, and it shows, but it doesn't show as much. If you're a bad interior defensive lineman in the run game, the impact on that is crazy. But if you're an elite interior guy, the impact is crazy. We saw Chris Jones, right, in the Super Bowl, able to make an impact. Reason why he's getting paid what he's getting paid, and he didn't even get a sack in the game because of the pressure that you can cause from the inside between the A, B, and inside of the C gap. You know, when you get in that 4-eye range, you know what I'm saying. Talking some. So when you're in the A gap, either A gaps, B gaps, that A to B gap pressure is way more important than what happens. Because a lot of times, obviously, you see a lot of times like a corner comes off a blitz, easy. All right, spin out of that, get out of that. Anytime there's a free defender up the middle of the field, you're guaranteed damn near a snack every time, or at least that play is completely ruined. You can ruin so much from that inside, right? So shout out to Christian Wilkins getting his money, getting paid, but him and Max Crosby next year is going to be something to fear with, right? Brian Burns on top of Kayvon Thibodeau, who has been right now he's been but I think he can have a good big season with him next to Brian Burns on the opposite side of him, but more importantly Dexter Lawrence, who's still going to be the best defensive lineman on that team. What they've been able to do is great. But I really want to talk about how petty, Saquon to the Eagles is really something that they needed because they were abusing Jalen Hurts, especially in the 4-for-1 situation, low runs situation. Everybody think the tush push is still going to be great. The tush push was great because of Jason Kelsey. So I want to see how whoever the new center is on their team, that impact is still going to be the same. But the one thing I always like, and for me, I always like versatile running backs. So that's why I thought Aaron Jones to the Ravens made a lot more sense than Derrick Henry. But we'll see where they land there. But to stay on Saquon Barkley, man, I have no problem with him going to another team that's willing to see what he's provided. To a lot of people, Saquon Barkley, when healthy, is a top two, top three running back in the league, right? But I haven't been able to see him healthy. More importantly, this is going to be the best offensive line he's ever played with, probably in his life. To be honest, from Penn State, high school, whatever, this is going to be the best offensive line he's going to play in his life. Even without Jason Kelsey there, the offensive line is still going to be great. This opens up a whole new dimension. The ability to really run effectively on first and second down because of Saquon is going to be great. Their run game is going to be great. Their offense is going to be great. This just unlocks them to so many levels. Now you don't have to run Jalen Hurts as much, right? You don't have to run Jalen Hurts as much. Even though obviously that's still a great part of his game, still got to worry about Saquon. Now, instead of worrying about Jalen Hurts, you got to worry about Saquon really running the ball effectively. So that's a great move. Zach Moss, I understand why you're letting go of Joe Mixon because you don't want to continue to pay him that money. I think some great landing spots for him. Probably the Commanders are upset that they went ahead and, even though you still got Brian Thomas, teams that I think that should look at Joe Mixon because he's still a very, very productive running back in the run game. Pass game is to be desired, obviously. But I think a place where you can really see him thrive and be good. I love Isaiah Pacheco. But if you're the Kansas City Chiefs and you could get Joe Mixon on the cheap, a little seven M's deal, I go ahead and try to go ahead and do that. Obviously, you got to make some more moves to keep some key pieces. I think that's a good spot for him. Tampa. Obviously, I think Tampa's a good spot for Joe Mixon as well. So there's some areas for him to go. I'm happy Aaron Jones was able because I don't like what the teams did with letting him go so late in day one for the simple fact that you can the simple fact him and Aaron Jones, like, they had more time, but the teams, about people now, they're getting like the low end spectrum of the money, which is crazy. I do think the Packers are going to regret getting rid of Aaron Jones. I thought you could have kept him and Josh Jacobs just because of the passing threat that Aaron Jones is. And I think Aaron Jones, when healthy, was fully productive. And he's been relatively healthy for the most part of his career. It's just this year he had the lingering injuries that kept him out. And obviously Josh Jacobs hasn't really missed a game. But in my opinion, I think Aaron Jones was just better. For his ability to run the ball, we saw him take over games in the offseason. In the playoffs. So this is really, really, in my opinion, a mistake. But the Vikings get a significant upgrade at running back. That's a great, great move for them. You can see, probably heard my ESPN going off, talking about it. It's 1 year, $7 million. Great, great deal, man. That's really day one. The real man, Bryce Huff to the Eagles as well. That's a great defensive lineman to pick up, to add in. Obviously, he should start. I think he's going to be a bona fide superstar. But now this kind of makes you, okay, maybe we can get rid of Hassan Reddick and get some draft and get some capital, even though we told him no. Because obviously Brandon Graham is coming back. Well, Fletcher Cox is retiring, but you still have the two dogs from Georgia in there. So free agency week 1 is really, 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 really good. I want to see if there's any other moves I want to highlight before I go ahead and talk. Sam Darnold is going to be the quarterback for the Vikings this year, which to me makes it seems like J.J. McCarthy is probably going to be a Minnesota Viking. They're going to draft a young quarterback, have him sit under Sam Darnold for a year, and then from there they're going to move forward, right? Titans have made some good moves as well. Oh, Xavier McKinney to the Packers is a great, great, great move. Love that for them. Sorry, Simone Biles' husband, you're no longer on that team. But that's a great, great move for them. I love that for them. Van Ginkel, obviously, to the Vikings as well. Brian Flores is getting some of the guys he wanted, and that defense is going to continue to go. Danielle Hunter is somebody I'm very interested in seeing where does he go. Because to me, he was the best edge guy that was out and ready to go. He's going to want to get paid. He deserves to get paid. I just want to figure out what are the landing spots for him. Um, and I don't know. Maybe the Patriots. You pair him with Matthew Judon. I think that would be a really, really good move. Actually, the Patriots. Patriots should go after Danielle Hunter. Pair him with Matthew Judon. That edge rush is going to be fantastic and amazing. I think that's a great spot for him. I want to see if there's anything else. Jacoby Brissett is back into New England, so that makes me also know that Drake May or Jaden Daniels. I think it's probably going to be Drake May because I think Jaden Daniels will be the second overall pick. I'm going to do a mock draft. Probably drop that later this week. Jordan Brooks to the Dolphins. I think that's a good pickup for them as well. I won't see any other move I want to discuss in length. But Xavier McKinney is a great guy. Very versatile safety. Very, 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 very versatile safety. We still got Justin Simmons out there. There's a lot of safeties out there that we don't know where they're going to go. They haven't made any moves. This is only legal tampering begins, so they're just agreements, things that can be made. We already saw Will Lutz change his mind. So people can still change their mind. Don't really see it happening, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Shout out Grover Stewart again. The bad coach needed to keep him as well. Oh, Singletary is going to the Giants. That's a good move for a good pickup. Obviously, you lost Saquon. It doesn't replace him really, but that's a good replacement if you can get him. Want to make sure. Sean Murphy Bunting to the Cardinals. Cardinals did make some good moves as well. I like what they did. Panthers signed Robert Hunt. They're getting offensive linemen for Bryce Young. Bryce Young is not a bust, people. Trust me. He is not a bust. He's not a bust. He's not a bust. He's going to do some great things, and I want you guys to trust him. On this channel, there will also be more than just NFL talk. We're going to do some Madden rebuilds, Madden season. So it's going to be video games, but all the content's going to be centered around the NFL. So Dolphins this offseason lost Robert Hunt, Christian Wilkins, Xavier Howard, Van Ginkel, Jerome Baker, Agba, and Brandon Jones. The one thing they do get are compository picks, which I want to really talk about that. I don't know if I love the idea of that because you get a second to fourth round pick for losing somebody that you drafted. When I think you should be able to manage your funds better. I want to really get into full discussion on that. I'm going to really do some research on that and really break down why I don't agree with that rule. Or maybe after doing some research, I might agree with that rule. But hey, till next time, man. My name is Wayne. We'll holler at you. That's day one of free agency with a little day two sprinkled in there. But we'll talk day two. Catch you guys back tomorrow.